Top of the morning, my friend. I will teach you about type 1 error, type 2 error, and the power of the test. First, let's discuss type 1 error. Remember that we always list our null hypothesis first, which is our assumption about a population parameter. In this case, we assume that the population mean, mu, is 10. A type 1 error is an error when we assume that the null hypothesis is true. You can remember this because it is an error when we assume the first thing we write down is true, which will always be the null hypothesis. The only possible error when the null hypothesis is true is when we reject the null hypothesis when it is true. This will just be the significance level, which is denoted as alpha. This is because the significance level is defined as the probability of getting a value that is extreme enough to reject the null hypothesis, assuming it is true. Following our logic, type 2 error is failing to reject the null hypothesis when the null hypothesis is not true. We can remember this by thinking the only thing that may be true of the things we wrote is the alternative hypothesis. We denote the probability of type 2 error as beta. We can only calculate beta if we know the true value of the population parameter. Finally, let's discuss the power of the test. We run hypothesis tests to question the status quo, also known as the null hypothesis. This means the power of the test is doing what we want. This means it is the probability we are able to reject the null hypothesis, given it is false. If you think about it, you realize the power of the test is just 1 minus beta. Bye. Hit the like if it helped.